Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. And in this series we're going to be going over the sun signs, okay? The sun in the signs. And in this episode we're going to be talking about the 8th sign, which is Scorpio, okay? So having your sun in Scorpio. So if your sun's in Scorpio, this video is for you, or if you're just interested in sun Scorpios in general. And before we get into that, I just want to remind you, if you want to book a reading with me, you certainly can. I do astrology, birth natal chart readings, as well as tarot. All you got to do is email me at samastroreadings@gmail.com. That's samastroreadings@gmail.com. And I'll certainly get back to you, and we can book and go further with that. So, getting back into Sun and Scorpio, okay? The first thing I can say about Sun and Scorpio is the season, okay? Sun goes into Scorpio between the dates of October 23rd to November 21st. Okay, so if you were born between October 23rd and November 21st, you are a Sun in Scorpio. Happy early birthday, okay, to the Sun in Scorpios. But yes, and this season and all seasons of sun signs are very important because you get an idea and the theme of that sign. Now, between October 23rd to November 21st, okay, this is fall season, but this is when fall season is getting colder, okay, colder. This is in the middle of, you know, the coldness of fall season. This is when it really starts to feel cold. It's no longer Libra season, which is supposed to represent the beginning of fall, when trees are first turning like green and orange and things are cooler and breezier. Now, during Scorpio season, we're getting to the point where things are really cold, okay? And the leaves are no longer just orange and yellow, but they're like crispy and brown and dark and dead, pretty much. So you're seeing a lot of the life of the planets being dead, the trees, the leaves dead, the plants dead because of the coldness. And this is Scorpio energy. Scorpio rules death. It rules the coldness. Scorpio is a cold sign. It's, in my opinion, one of the coldest signs, the coldest sign. And everything dying, that represents death, the darkness of Scorpio. But Halloween, okay? Halloween is also during Scorpio season, okay? And it's no coincidence considering the dark themes of Scorpio. So, of course, it's gonna be on Halloween, okay? So, again, the season time represents the darkness, the coldness, okay? Also, it gets very dark, okay, much earlier during this time, okay? So, you know, again, the themes of darkness, coldness, spookiness of Scorpio. So, yes, you were born during this cold season. You had to deal with all these dark themes, all right? All of this represents, you know, the energy of Scorpio. And when it comes to Scorpio, Sun Scorpios have a dark aura, okay? A dark type of aura and energy. And it makes them mysterious in that sense too. But the Sun represents our aura, represents the energy we kind of exert and express. And even our auras, okay? Just the vibe. And the Scorpio vibe, the Sun Scorpio vibe, Sun Scorpios, they naturally have a dark aura, okay? A dark kind of vibe. And this vibe makes people very curious about them, okay? They have this kind of mysterious mystique to them. And again, it deals with that dark vibe, dark energy of Scorpio. So, yes, do not be surprised if you get a dark vibe by someone with the Sun in Scorpio. This is definitely their aura and their energy. And it's not always, again, spooky and scary. It can make people very attracted to them and want to know more, want to know what's the mystery. So, yes, definitely very seducing. Also, with Sun in Scorpios, this placement is more conservative and reserved. Okay, our Sun sign also will let us know our personalities, our general personalities, how we express ourselves, our behaviors, you know, not just our auras, but just the way we act. And when it's in Scorpio, this water dark sign, yes, you are more reserved, probably one of the most reserved. Kind of put yourself, you kind of stay to yourself. And this is not because Scorpios aren't social, because we will learn that Scorpios actually do like relationships, but When it comes to their energy and how they approach things, they are much more conservative, okay? They're not as expressive, okay? The sun is an expressive energy. It's going to represent our personality. So when it's in Scorpio, this dark energy, you're either expressing dark energy and kind of scaring people away, or you're reserving your energy. You're not going to put yourself so much out there. You know, Scorpio puts that kind of shade within you. So a lot of Sun Scorpios are more reserved. They go into, you know, a place of people. They could be the ones kind of like standing in the side and the back, kind of just like analyzing everybody, you know. They're more reserved. They're very reserved. And that's, again, it just adds into their mystery, into their darkness, and why people really are attracted to them, want to get to know them. So, you know, with that reserved type of energy, there's a lot going on in them, okay? So don't think there's not a lot going on. There's a lot going on. Like I said, they could go into a room, very reserved, but they're analyzing everyone. They have so much going on in their heads, you know, but they kind of keep it to themselves because, again, this is that dark, hidden energy. Scorpio represents things that are hidden. Also, with Sun in Scorpios, okay, our Sun represents how we express ourselves outwardly, and this can come in the way that we dress, our image, our presentation, okay? And with Sun Scorpios have a liking for a darker image, okay? A dark image. These people can like to dress up in very dark clothing, dark fashions, give that kind of mysterious dark image, okay? Because again, like I said, the sun is how we creatively express ourselves, and that's in our fashion, our image, and how we style ourselves. So the style and the image of a Sun in Scorpio is very dark, okay? So these are the people who like to wear really dark clothes. It could be gothic. It doesn't have to be gothic. It could just be like, I like to wear lots of black colors. It could be something intense about their image. These could be people who like to wear lots of tattoos, okay? You know, again, with, you know, the darkness, the mysteriousness, the grunge, okay? So their image represents like kind of like that darkness. You think of like punk people, emo people, you know, and again, it doesn't have to be punk and emo. It could just be more darker. Like, I just like darker colors. You know, I like colors that kind of blend in, kind of more shadowy, okay, to represent, again, that dark image that they have. So those dark, you know, fashion choices, you know, definitely is a Sun in Scorpio. These people can really dress in like very dark images and dark fashions and dark trends. And they can also do things that are very intense, like even like lots of piercings, lots of tattoos, you know, things that represent, because even with tattoos can represent a dark, intense energy, you know, because, you know, you got to think about the reason people get tattoos. Usually it's a big deal. Usually it's something that means something, you know, that transform them to the point where they want to actually mark their bodies permanently. It's, again, that intensity of Scorpio energy. So that intensity comes out in their image, okay, and the way that they present themselves. And it's very dark, very intense. And don't get me wrong, everything isn't, like, it doesn't have to be dark and emo with Sun Scorpios. There's a lot of Sun Scorpios who aren't emo at all. However, again, like I said, they could choose for darker colors, or maybe they can go for fashion trends and like fashions and images that are very deep and intense. Maybe it's not the color, maybe it's what it's saying, you know, just whatever it is. There's a darkness and a depth in their image and how they express their image, okay? Also, with Sun and Scorpios, these people are very sexual, okay? This is a very sexual side. You have to understand, Sun represents our sexual energy and how we express ourselves. So this placement will always represent our sexuality, but being Sun, being in Scorpio, Scorpio is the sign of sex, intense sex, deep sex, soul bonding sex, okay, that type. So when you have it in Sun and the way that you express and identify with yourself, Sun Scorpios are very sexual, okay? These are very sexual people. They have a sexual aura, okay? We talked about how Sun Scorpios have like a dark aura and they're mysterious. Also a sexual aura as well, okay? That goes along with their depthness, with their darkness, okay? And again, this can make them, very sexual and very sexy to other people. People could be sexually interested in a Sun Scorpio based off of their vibe. So these people spill in a lot of sexual energy, and like I said, Scorpio rules sex in the most deepest way. It's a very sexual sign, so when you put it in the sun, it's kind of like you're putting the sexual energy into your identity. So yes, these people are dark, mysterious, and very sexy and sexual. So definitely don't be surprised if you're around a Sun Scorpio and you're kind of like, this person kind of gives me a little like, oh, kinky sexual vibe. Sun Scorpio, it's their aura. I mean, it just comes out. So very interesting in that way, and a really big theme when it comes to Sun Scorpios. Also, with Sun and Scorpios, this is a very intuitive sign. Scorpio is a water sign. It's very intuitive. Sun Scorpio people are very intuitive, very emotionally sensitive. They can feel people's energies. They feel people's vibes, and this is a big part of the reason why they also are very more so reserved, because it's a form of protection, okay? You're going to see this theme with all water signs, just like we explained in Sun and Cancers, how they got the crab, they're very protective of their energy, more reserved. Same thing with Sun Scorpios, this approach of being more reserved. Again, it just represents their energy and how they have to protect it, okay, when you're feeling people's energies. But what's also very interesting with Sun and Scorpios is that not only are they very intuitive and they pick up people's energies easily, but Scorpio is the sign of the reader. I like to say the person who reads, who intentionally goes out, seeks out to read people. So I would say when it comes to Sun Scorpios, this is also a sign that's very intuitive and receptive, but also very active within their intuitive gifts. So these are people who intentionally read people. All right, they will come into a room and be looking and observing, intentionally reading people down. Scorpio is a very, I like to say, dominant energy, very assertive energy. It's the water sign that really asserts its energy. So yeah, these are like good readers. These are people who really come in and really will read you. They'll look into your eyes and read you. They'll be kind of snooping in and reading everybody, and they're very aware of their sensitive energy. And to me, Scorpio is not going, a lot of times they're focused on power, so they don't want to be a victim to their intuition. So they use it as their power. And any other water sign can too, but I find that Scorpio energy tends to gravitate to using it to your advantage, using your intuition intentionally. It is the personality of the sign to do so. It's ruled by, the Scorpion, very assertive, kind of gets its prey. So that's very Scorpios. They like to read, okay? Sun Scorpios, they like to read people. They purposely kind of like to stay quiet and absorb all your energy and information and know everything about you before they share anything about themselves, okay? So be careful, because like I say, Scorpios, they are very intuitive, very emotional, very sensitive, but they're very strategic, okay, and assertive with their energies. So a lot of times Sun Scorpios, they know their gifts and they know how to intentionally use it. So also with Sun and Scorpio, this sign is very relationship orientated, okay? This is a sign that likes relationships, okay? And not in the Libra sense where they're out here having fun and just mangling with lots of people. They could, maybe, your Sun's in Scorpio and your Moon's in Libra, but they like deep, intense relationships, okay? This is relationships in the most deepest way. This is like quality over quantity, and Scorpios love relationships. They love the intensity of a deep relationship. They love the connection of a deep relationship. They love the emotional stimulation of a relationship, a deep one. So these people are going to be relationship orientated. They're going to look out for relationships. And it's not going to be, again, like numbers, like how many relationships. It's about finding that one person, sticking to that one person, okay? Very deep. So Sun Scorpios, they can be very relationship oriented, looking for that one partner, that one person, okay? If they're an unhealthy Scorpio, they might like to play games and cheat on people and start dramatic problems within their relationship, okay? Like I said, Scorpio is a very deep, intense sign. It rules deep relationships. And if you understand about deep relationships are not simple. Okay, these are the relationships where you get to know somebody, you're really comfortable with them, and they get to see all your uglies, you see all their uglies. It can get really ugly, but beautiful at the same time, because you're kind of like accepting each other's for who you are and being able to express some of the most vulnerable parts of you. Very Scorpio. Scorpio loves a deep, intense relationship where you just strip yourself and really show who you are. And it could get ugly. It could be arguments, there could be problems, but that's all a part of the intensity of a relationship, okay? It could be toxic, but it could be what you need to do and grow, because you got to think about relationships. Like, there's going to be times where you disagree, there's going to be arguments, there's going to be, you know, these times where things aren't working, and what that part of a relationship is your differences, and understanding that, getting deep enough into the relationship that you start to realize the things that are different about you and how do we make these things work out, you know. So that's a very important relationship, because that's how the relationship gets stronger and stronger, and that's what Scorpio rules. It rules these deep relationships, the long-term relationships, okay? What happens after marriage, you know, how you really grow deeply with each other. So very relationship-orientated sign. However, be careful with Sun and Scorpios, because like I said, they could be very messy, very dramatic, okay? They could be very manipulative, okay? Very manipulative, okay? So be careful with that, because these could be drama people, okay? Very intense, but if they're healthy, you know, this would just be a very deep, intense, soul satisfying relationship. Also with Sun and Scorpio, this is a very power ego driven placement, okay? I don't care what anybody tells you, Sun and Scorpios are very power orientated, okay? Especially when you put Scorpio and Sun. You have to understand Sun represents our ego, okay? It's our personality, it's our ego. You put in Scorpio, the sign of power, the sign of depth and power. You know, Scorpio is a sign looking for power. It's how you transform. It's how you face your deepest fears and become powerful. Put it in Sun and your ego. Like, these people are very power orientated. Do not be surprised. Sun and Scorpios, they like to be the boss. They like to control their reality. They like to control other people. They like to be in power of other people. They like power, and the Sun only co-signs this energy even more, because the Sun is about power. Scorpio is about power. Very power-orientated people. I know a lot of Sun Scorpios, they like to be the boss. They like to be the manager. They like to run things, okay? They like to run their relationship. Even if they don't run it in a direct way, they like to run it indirectly. They like control. I know a lot of Sun Scorpios, they like money, because money helps you have power. That's how you can get whatever you want. You know, again, it's that power. Sun Scorpios are very power driven. I do not be surprised if they get a little bossy. Do not be surprised if they get very passionate and they get like an adrenaline rush because they're now a manager at a job. Like, these people, like Sun Scorpios, you should be in power placements. Always look for certain things and areas in life that make you feel powerful, that you have a lot of power, genuine power over. Because this can also get manipulative too. It could get dark-sided, and Sun Scorpios can be so bossy. So bossy. It's like, oh my God, just taking power and control over everything. It could be a lot. But it is their egos, and it is a big part of their personality. So definitely a big thing with Sun Scorpios. Very powerful people. Even in their like aura and the way that they just are in their presence, they just have a powerful force, you know, a kind of powerful energy. Again, like, you're intimidating, you're mysterious, you're sexy, you're powerful. It's like, what's next? Also, Sun Scorpios can be dramatic. Oh my goodness, this could be a dramatic sign. As conservative as they are, a lot of Sun Scorpios are holding on to a lot of pent-up energy. Lots of energy. Again, like, I know they can come off very stone-faced out in the public, but there's so much intensity going on. And you can feel it too. These are the people, like, even though you know they're kind of quiet, you can feel some intensity. These people are very intense emotionally. Sun Scorpios, they can deal with lots of emotional, intense things in their lives that make them very intense. And Scorpio energy, it'll bring lots of emotional intensity. But with Sun and Scorpios, these people can really lash out because the Sun is how we express ourselves. So even though Scorpio keeps energy inside, it's in Sun, it's going to have to release it. And Scorpio is like a volcano. It eventually erupts. All that steaming energy, all that boiling water energy eventually explodes and comes out. So with Sun being here, the sign of expressing yourself, yes, Sun Scorpios could have some major dramatic episodes. They can lash out. They could get really angry. They could be yelling. They could be fighting. They could get very intense and dramatic and really act out their intense emotions, okay? You know, things are getting too deep. They could really just go off on you. You'll just be surprised, like, oh my God, this person's angry. Like, they're very intense people. They hold a lot of emotions in. And once it comes out, it could be crazy. It could be very dramatic. Sun rules, you know, performance and drama and just, you know, put on a show. So they can really like put on a show. So they can put it together. They can keep it together for long, but it eventually has to come out. And when it does, oof, it is dark. It is crazy. It is dramatic. Also with Sun and Scorpios, these people love, like I said, depth. And this can also mean things that are spiritual, things that deal with occult knowledge. You know, Scorpio deals with, you know, the occult, hidden knowledge that's deep, that's not mainstream, okay? Because Scorpios love to be kind of like detectives and understand the mysteries of the world, okay? And they like deep information, deep knowledge, deep emotions, deep everything. So this could be a sign that's very into, like, again, occult knowledge, deep things, things that have depth. You know, you're telling them a story, you tell them something that's really sad. Like, that's something that they're interested in. Also, with Sun and Scorpio, Sun represents your father figure, your masculine figure, whoever you looked up to, or whatever masculine figures or patriarchal figures that really influenced you. Because this can also be your mother. Sometimes people don't have a father, so the mother plays the father role as well too. This could also be your uncles. This could be your brother, your older brother. This could be like, I don't know, a superhero you used to watch when you're younger. Like, whatever it is, the Sun represents the masculine, patriarchal father influence on you, okay? And because it's in Scorpio, this deals with depth, this deals with darkness, this deals with intensity, okay? You could have had a father who was very intimidating, very powerful, very scary, okay? Just like ran the family, you know, like very dominating in the family, very powerful, very intimidating, very dark, okay? Your father could have just been that person, very powerful, intimidating person, okay? And because of that, this is how you see masculine energy. This is how it's been influenced on you. So, you know, you see masculine energy as something that's dark, something that's powerful, okay? Something that's very deep, okay? Could have been lots of trauma, okay, with your father figure, okay? Your father figure could have caused lots of trauma onto you, you know, with all these deep energies, okay? Intense family dynamics, intense emotional drama between you and your father, okay? Scorpios are very dramatics, okay? Abuse, and, you know, just and of any type, you know, power dynamics, okay? Maybe your father is too demanding, too controlling. Okay, dark things, secrets that your father could have had, dark things that could have happened, death within the family. Maybe your father died, and it brought a lot of dark energy to you, okay? So, again, like, your father figure could have had a very dark, intense energy, very powerful person, too. Also, with Scorpio energy is strong bonds, so even though there's lots of intensity and darkness with your father figure or your masculine figure or whatever, there's also a tight bond. Maybe they always have your back. You know, they're always kind of like protecting you. They're always very in tune with you. Okay, so again, intense relationships, deep bonds, deep relationships, darkness, trauma, okay? you know, death. All of those could have been associated with your father figure, or the father figure that influenced you, or the masculine figure energy that influenced you. So very intense, okay? Like, it ain't easy, you know. And this is why Sun Scorpios are very intense, because again, the influences, the dark energies that you dealt with Sun Scorpios, this makes them intense people. This makes them more conservative, makes them very reflective, makes them very deep. So yes, this is Sun in Scorpio, very deep, very intense, very sexual, very seducing, manipulative, powerful, ego-driven placement, okay? These people are very powerful, okay? And, you know, some of y'all might not be all of this, because, like I said, you gotta look at your chart fully. You might just have Sun in Scorpio, so you put on this dark image, but you're actually really nice and fuzzy and Cancer all around. I don't know. But Sun in Scorpio definitely puts on this dark image, dark energy, and these people are very intense, but very deep and have lots of depth. So hope you guys enjoyed this. You know, if you enjoyed this, you could book a reading with me. Okay, I do astro birth natal chart readings as well as tarot. All you have to do is email me at samastroreadings@gmail.com. That's samastroreadings@gmail.com, and we could go forward with that. And I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll check you guys on the next. So thanks for watching.